Perfect. We'll start off tonight. Obviously, first questions for the players, then we'll go to Campy.
Just for the both of you, can you talk about the weekend itself has been kind of crazy with 2 games being canceled due to COVID, and then you didn't know who you were going to be playing today, just how that impacted your mentality towards the game and what the week was like from your perspective?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was a crazy week. You know, we came in each day, like you said, not knowing who we were going to end up playing, games being canceled the day before, stuff like that. But we just came in, you know, trying to get better individually and as a group, as a whole. We knew we had all of our guys going to be healthy. Everyone is healthy, and everyone was just working hard at practice each day. And, you know, whoever we ended up playing, we knew we were going to give it our all, and our week's practice would show that.
Like Trey said, we came in every day during practice, and if we found out we were playing someone, we were just kind of working on stuff that we knew we needed to get better at. So we just kind of stayed prepared, and I was glad that we were able to get a game today. So.
Trey, kind of going off that, coming into a game like this where you know you're bigger and more athletic than the other team, like what is the player's mindset?
You know, it doesn't change because anyone can beat anyone on a given night. You know, we're coming off 2 wins and everything's rolling. Jalen and Jamal didn't play, obviously, and I knew I had to take more of a lead role with Micah, I guess you could say, but you know, I didn't look at them any lesser than I would look at someone else just because, you know, I don't want to play down to, you know, kind of a lower level. So I just keep with that high motor no matter who I'm playing, and that's kind of what happened today.
Chris, this one's for you. Sorry, I lost my question. Hold on one second, Chris. A lot of fans have been calling for more minutes for you. Obviously, you were able to get a lot more of those minutes today. What are you most proud of from your work, and what do you think you showed Coach Campy about the future for Chris Conway?
No, I think just overall it's definitely going to be, you know, a process. I think that over time I still need to work a lot on defense, rebounding, just being tougher, walling up, stuff like that. So it was good to be able to score, but I feel like that's not the thing that I need to improve on the most. It was nice to kind of get some confidence, and I can thank my coaches and teammates for kind of believing in me and helping me, encourage me, but I still think there's a lot of stuff left to do.
Any other questions for players?
You have any?
I got nothing on social.
Okay.
So, we're good. Everything's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Opening statement would be, you know, I keep hearing, why did you play this game? You know, why a team no one had ever heard of? And, well, first of all, you know, you have to pay respect to, you know, yeah, there are people that heard of this team. They're from Ohio. They're 4.5 hours away from here. They're an NAIA school, a little Christian school, and, you know, they play basketball and they've got a team. And, you know, almost every school in our league and in like leagues like ours play 1 or 2 of these games every year. We just don't do that, you know, and we don't do it for certain reasons. And I want to do it. I always want to play a game like this. Usually most teams play it at the beginning. I like playing it. Now, this is a little late for it, but I like playing it later once you've established yourself and you know things, because you get a chance to see your young kids. And when everybody, you know, people I know were, wow, I'm not coming to the game tonight. You know, my answer to them was, hey, you're coming to see us. Doesn't matter who we play, you're coming to see us. And you're going to come and you're going to get a chance to see some young guys like a Chris Conway get extended minutes and see why we recruited them and see what we believe their future can be. Now, obviously, their future isn't going to include NAIA schools in their games, but you got to see what we saw in the recruiting. And now it's our job as coaches to develop them into the next Corey Petros, the next Keith Benson, the next whoever, all these great players that have come in and played for us. You know, most people don't remember that Brad Brechting didn't even play until he was, you know, all a junior, and then he has 32 points and 18 rebounds in a game. You know, you develop kids. Now, because of the transfer portal and because of the way things have changed, you won't see that the way we used to see it around here. but could be we just showed some other schools how good these kids can be, and maybe that'll help them. But that's just the way it is today. So, I'm really pleased with our young guys. I was not happy with the two backup point guards. I'm trying to make a decision on who is our backup point guard, and this tonight was a really, really big game for those two guys. I didn't think either of them played very well early, and then I think they both played extremely well late. I think Newsom in the second half played good, and I think Brody Parker played in his stint when he early in the second half wasn't very good, but then he figured it out. And so I was pleased with the growth of both of them. Will Shepard, he got 6 rebounds in 24 minutes, so that was good to see. Will's still he's got to get better, because he's still an important piece. I mean, right now, if we have an 8-man rotation, Will's in that 8-man rotation. Some nights we might not have an 8-man rotation, but he's in that, and it's good to see him get better and better. And I think Will's just the guy that's got to get through his freshman year and develop, and we get a summer with him, and I have really high hopes for him. So I'll answer any questions anybody has.
Coach, obviously a lot of your focus was on your youth in tonight's game, but this was Micah Parish's first game after missing 2 last week for COVID protocol and being out for a while. What do you think of his game, and does it look like he's back where he left off?
Yeah, my goal for Micah was to get him 30 minutes, and my staff kept saying, we need him out there, and it had nothing to do with the score of the game or anything. He missed 2 weeks. He needed to get 30 minutes because he's going to play 30 minutes Sunday probably, and so I didn't want him coming off protocol and going through all that. So I was very pleased with what we got done with him tonight. He had a good game, but who didn't? They all did. So. But he had 17 points. He didn't shoot it very well from the 3, which I didn't expect him to after missing a couple weeks, because he's in isolation now. He wasn't in the gym. He was in isolation. So just to get out there and run up and down the floor, and he was asymptomatic. He had no problems. He thought the test was wrong, and he was not happy that he had to stay in his room like that. But he's through it, and now we move forward. So I was pleased with Mike, and I'm glad, we got him 31 minutes, and when he dove on the floor there, I was like, oh no. And, I called a timeout immediately and got him out.
Greg, can you give us just a little insight into what you say to their coach after a game like this? Like, is it just a thanks for coming in, or what do you say at that point?
Well, I talked to him before the game. Look, I was Bob Barker for 24 hours, man. It was, let's make a deal. From the moment Thursday morning that we found out we weren't playing, I was on the phone. I got this game because of Jared Calhoun at Youngstown, because I didn't know them. I'd never heard of them, just like you guys. And Jared had just gone through this, and he gave me the list of people. Once we found out there was nobody in Michigan that could play, I really was hoping to get Rochester College, but they played a league game Thursday and a league game Saturday. There are a lot of schools in this state, but they all play on Saturday. And I wasn't going to offer enough money to have them come here. We're not going to do that. We just can't, we're not going to break the bank for a non-league game on a Friday night. But, I was wheeling and dealing on the phone. I'll get you 15 pizzas, too. We'll put you up. I was begging people to come. And they just came off their game tomorrow was canceled because the other team had COVID, and they were sitting at home, and he called me back and said, we can come. I bumped it up $1,000 for him because it was a 4.5-hour ride. And then I told him before the game, I said, when he said yes, I couldn't even tell you what their record was, where they played. I knew nothing. So then once I went through and did the research. Smitty, we pulled up some film of them and things like that. we're not going to get Jalen and Jamal hurt. They're both kind of got nicks and bruises anyways, and getting them a couple extra days was good. I dressed them just because if things went wrong, we're here to win. But, you know, Jamal needed some time off. And then the other thing, you know, I can't play all those guys that many minutes. And so a guy like Jalen Moore, was that really fair to him if he's leading the nation in assists and I play him 6 minutes or something like that? So I told the coach, you know, we got a pro player that's not going to play tonight, and point guard leads the nation. I'm not going to play him. You know, we're going to pressure a little bit at the start. We're going to run. I'm going to do everything I can during the game to offensively not, you know, try and embarrass you. And he just said, hey, we came here, we get a chance to play our kids get a chance to play in the arena. And, you know, a lot of people want to play in the arena. They see that black top on national TV. They know our fans are great. And for him to be able to bring his team to the arena and those kids remember that they played here, so that's kind of like our team getting to go play at Fog Allen or something. So they were excited to be here out of nowhere, and we gave them a check. In a school like that, it wasn't a lot of money, but a school like that can make their whole budget. And I've been there, and I know that. And he didn't care what the score was. His kids got to do that, and nobody get hurt on either team, and try not to embarrass anybody, and let's just have some fun, and that's what we did. And this was an exhibition game for them. They were able to call it an exhibition game, so it won't hurt their record, and for us, it's a real game. So that's a long answer. I hope I answered your question.
Last one for me. On your coach's show this past Tuesday, you mentioned Zion Young, you know, trying to figure out maybe take the medical red shirt. He wasn't dressed tonight. Have you made any decisions about him for the rest of the season?
We have one more game. The medical red shirt, he can play in 8 games and through the first half of the season. We're at 14 games. Now, the problem that I have with that is what is our season going to be? Because it's supposed to be 31, so we could go one more. So he will not play again unless his health is close to 100%, and my guess is he will not play again. At this point, it's like I told him, this was part of our conversation. You know, Micah, what's best for Oakland University is that you battle through this, play when you can, don't play when you can't, practice when you can, don't practice when you can. But you know what's best for Zion Young is probably shut it down. Why waste a year? You can get an extra year back, and why wake up every morning in pain? Now what he's got to determine is, does he want to wake up in pain the rest of his life? I've had both knees replaced. My guess is if he pushes through this, he'll end up like me someday. So he's got to make decisions just about his health and his life and what he wants to do. And the good thing is he's going to graduate at the end of the summer, so he can come back, he can do whatever he wants to do because he's taken care of the books and done the right stuff academically. Zion's a great kid who's worked really hard and done the right thing. So I just want what's best for him.
Cam, backing up to Chris Conway here tonight, I kind of came in a little bit late, so I did want to ask you this, where that 15-foot jumper that he has, you know, do you see that as being a weapon? Like, can he weaponize that? Because that's something you don't see a lot, the 6'10" in the Horizon League, consistent 15-foot shot.
Well, what you have to understand is, you know, I'll use myself as an example. At Defiance High School, I was the man. And when you're the man and you can shoot any shot and everybody on the team expects you to shoot a shot, you're going to make shots. And when you miss, you shrug your shoulders. When I got to Bowling Green and I wasn't the man, every shot I had to make to try and stay on the court or something like that, they became very difficult to make, right? And for Chris, we know he makes that 15-foot shot. I remember my son, Keith, said to me after the exhibition game, he said, man, what an ugly shot that Conway has. I go, no, because he had shot a free throw in that game, and he goes like this. He goes, are you changing? I go, no, that kid can really shoot it, especially at 15 feet. And he's really good from there, but that's the future. That's what you're going to see when he's rolling and he's playing 18 minutes or 25 minutes in a year or two. That's what you're going to see. Now, I've said all along this year, offensively, I believe he can play here. It's defensively that, you know, he's got to rebound better. He's got to get, and he said everything I got to get tougher. I got to rebound. I got to wall up better. I got to protect my area better. We're going to work with him. Keith Benson couldn't do that as a freshman, you know. Brad Brechtine, we can go through a lot of bigs. Will he get there? I hope so, because I think he can be a force offensively. And I mean, at 20 and 10 tonight, I think he can be a force. But there's other areas to the game that are going to be important.
How do you go about developing that? How do you turn, you know, Keith Benson into a defensive player of the year? What's the secret to that?
You know, my staff does a great job at that. Smitty has been tremendous over his career at doing that. He can go to Casey Kamen or whatever, the Kamen kid he coached at Central. Chris Kamen coached at Central, the guys he coached here. You know, we think we're pretty good at that. We think that's one of our strengths as a coaching staff. But it's got to come from him. And he's got, his motor's got to get bigger, his desire and want has got to get there, and that's why a game like tonight's so important. I think he liked being on TV after the game. I think he liked being up here. You know, and that's one of the reasons I wanted him in here after the game, because I want him. It's like a guy in the weight room. You lift weights and you look at the mirror and you see that, ooh, you know, I'm going to keep doing this, right? And so I want that motivation for him, because I think he's got a bright future. But it's not a given. It's not a given. His motor's got to get ramp up, but he's a great kid, and he and Trey are the best friends. I've never seen two guys become friends like, you know, you see guys friends for life at this. These two guys, from the minute they got here, they're inseparable. So I think the two of them will work real hard, and I believe he's going to be great. I believe he's going to make it and be great. There are days I don't, but then this is why you play games like this and give a kid a chance.
And then last one for me, Camp, with Milwaukee coming in here Sunday, obviously, you know.
What happened? What was the final?
They got cooked.
I know it was 28. Did it end? Did it end that?
Yeah, I don't know what the final number was. I kind of stopped paying attention. But
Baldwin didn't play, correct?
I didn't see him in the box score.
25 was they won by 25.
Did Baldwin play?
No.
So backing up on that, I mean, DeAndre Golson's a very, very good player in this league, and he really struggled shooting the basketball here tonight. You hate that, don't you? As a coach, when a team gets cooked and a good player doesn't play very well, you don't like that coming in here, do you?
No, but you know what, Neil? You've been around me long enough to know we got to be 1 point ahead. I don't care about all that. You got to be 1 point ahead, and then if we are, we're 5-0, and we go to Cleveland. I'm guessing they won.
They're working on it. They're up one with 15 seconds.
So we go to Cleveland State next week. They're picked first in the league, and they'll probably be undefeated or one loss maybe if that doesn't go well for them. Detroit's undefeated. You know, we just got to worry about ourselves and find a way to win, and then we go on the road and we play 4 straight on the road. Unless you know, I can't say what I want to say, but we think we're going to play 4 games in a row.
Any more for Coach Campy?
No, I thought you were sleeping back there.
In a week like this where you've had several cancellations and had to find a game as quick as possible, how do you keep players focused and motivated?
That's a good question, really good question, because I don't know if I did. It looks like I did. You know, I'm a screamer and a yeller. I think you all know that, and I'm a ranter and a raver, and I get going, and I think they get tired of hearing from me sometimes, but I crawled into them a little bit. We had some great practices. We were ready. Damn, we were ready to play Detroit. I mean, we were ready. We talked about January 5th since the day they got on campus, and they got a text about January 5th probably every other day since they've been on campus, and we were ready. Because that game, there's some meaning. There was going to be some meaning to that game. That we've won there 6 straight times, which ties Marquette, who has won there for the most consecutive wins by a program at Callahan Hall. And that's an old building, really old building with a lot of great games and a lot of great history and tradition. And if we beat them on January 5th, we'll have the all-time winning streak from an opponent of 7 straight. And we talked about that all summer, all fall, and then the game's taken away from us a day and a half before we were really ready. And I tried to switch gears and get to Green Bay, and because of that, I was pumping up Green Bay, and then, bam, that's gone too. And now, okay, we're playing who? you know. So I backed off on tonight. I talked about how hard they need to play and not embarrassing ourselves. And they listen. They're a great group of kids. Great group of kids. Great leadership. Jamal and Jalen did a hell of a job on the bench tonight. I don't know if you paid attention to that or not, but they did a hell of a job. Great leaders. There's everything to like about this team, and the only thing I don't like about it is we got to rebound better defensively. If we can get that done, this team can do a lot of great things.
Any more? All right, we'll take some from social media here.
Okay.
Got a couple for you, Coach.
Okay.
This one from Twitter. Coach, which young guys stood out to you the most, not just statistically, but their instincts on the court?
Do you say which young guy or what? Say that again.
Sure thing. Which young guys stood out to you the most?
I mean, obviously Conway, that was for me the best thing, because I think this is going to go a long way in his development tonight. I think, you know, Osei Price is really, really good. I mean, Osei Price, I think, is the best freshman in the league. He may not even make the all-freshman team just because he's on a team that, you know, he doesn't get to play, you know, 35 or 40 minutes unless somebody's gone. But I thought was outstanding. Will's getting better. I don't think Will was great tonight, but he needs minutes, and he got minutes tonight. And then this guy's not. I thought Ty Wyman. Finally, I mean, I yelled pretty hard at him for, you know, a walk-on who can really shoot it. And without Zion, we need another shooter, and that's why we brought him out of the red shirt. And he showed he could make shots, you know, and the shots he missed were all in and out. So I liked Wyman once he got his feet wet. But I got to say, Manuel Newsom is not a young guy, but I'm happy for him because it hasn't gone well for him here. And it didn't go well for him early, and he battled. He didn't quit, he battled. And I thought the last 7-8 minutes of the game, I thought Emmanuel played very well.
Coach Campy, were you happy with the leadership of Micah Parish tonight?
Very much so. I think that, you know, he got people where they belonged. We had some goofy lineups, and I still tried to run some of our stuff, and he got people where they belong. He played the point. When I got mad at the 2 point guards, he played the point for about 6 or 7 minutes, and we opened up the lead. You know, it was like 16 to 14 to 6 or 8 or something like that, and bam, it was 30-some to 8 when I took the 2 point guards off the floor. And Micah ran that for us, so I was very pleased with Micah. Just happy to have him back. He's a great player, and we need him.
This one from YouTube, John Lee. Logistically, how does this game get scheduled on such a short notice? You already touched on it earlier a little bit.
Yeah, I hope, John, I answered that for you. If not, stop by practice and I'll talk to you.
Perfect.
Is that it?
I think we're content on the questions. So, thanks, Coach.
See you Sunday. Hey, fans, we need you, man. We need that Grizz section Sunday, bud.